This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I'm here at Colorado Native Real Estate. They are dedicated to providing answers to your questions in order to make the buying, selling, investing, and building of real estate an easier and more rewarding process. I'm joined here by Eric Montiel, who is the realtor, also really a sales professional for years. You're a Colorado native. You're formally educated at the University of Colorado Boulder. You've got 20 plus years of experience when it comes to sales, really. I mean, VP of Sales, National Sales Manager. You launched a startup, which was women's active wear. Recently, you have been a wealth advisor, and now you're a realtor. Share with us how all these roads kind of led you to real estate.
Yeah, for about the last 8 years, I've been a financial advisor. I have my securities license. And when the pandemic hit, I started making phone calls to people in my neighborhood that also had carriage houses, accessory dwelling units, to find out if any of them wanted to sell their properties, because just about everybody that comes to my house is fascinated by my carriage house and the amount of money that generates for income and allows me to offset my mortgage. I got really heavily involved into the real estate and decided to inactivate my securities licenses at the end of December last year. And now I'm full-time into real estate.
Wow, you jumped in both feet. That is excellent. Why do you think real estate continues to really still be one of the best investments and obviously remains the American dream for many folks?
I think real estate remains to be one of the best investments around, Gary, because number one, it's a hedge against inflation. And there's also a lot of, on the investment standpoint, there's a lot of money to be made tax-free because of the depreciation. There's a lot of ways that you can make money in real estate that you can't make in the stock market. From number one, from the rental income. Number two, from depreciating the asset against the income. Number three, you get appreciation on the home value. And I was able to find the cash-on-cash return to be far more significant in real estate than I've been able to attain in the stock market.
I teach my kids that real estate is leverage. I mean, it creates some leverage that no other tool is able to do. I mean, the market this year, I mean, it's safe to say it's been a seller's market. As sellers are tempted to sell on their own, maybe throw an FSBO sign on the front lawn, why is it more important than ever to go with a professional?
It's more important than ever to go with a professional now, Gary, because it's a very complex market. It is a seller's market, but there's a lot of nuances in the marketplace, and it's changing very, very quickly. As the interest rates have increased from just under 3% to about 5 to 5.5%, the market has slowed down significantly, and that has changed the marketplace in a way that somebody that does not know the nuances and actively participate in real estate on a daily basis, they're going to end up getting their nose bloodied, and they really need to have some help.
Very hard to analyze the market without a professional. I mean, as we now see interest rates rising, I mean, this is something you've been warning the public and your clients about since the beginning of the year. Basically, I can't imagine anyone has any regrets locking in those kind of interest rates. What about right now? Do you think it's still a time to lock in some rates, even though we see them rising?
You know, I get that question asked to me a lot, Gary, and I feel that the best time to buy a home is when you find a home that you love and you can afford it. As far as interest rates continuing to rise, I would expect to see somewhere in the 6.5% to 8% by the end of the year. So if somebody is looking to get to purchase a home, now is the time to do it before it continues to go, the rates continue to go up.
Interesting.
About this time last year, a $500,000 home is cost about $2,400 a month, principal, insurance, taxes, insurance. And it's about $1,000 a month more right now than it was a year ago, just because of the rise in interest rate. If you take percent times $500,000, that's $10,000. Divide that by 12, it's $850 a month more. So it's significant. The good part about it is there's a lot less competition.
Yeah.
People aren't overpaying for a price, overpaying for the home, and they're able to. A lot of buyers are able to get in and find a home of their dreams now that they weren't able to a few months back with the hyper-competitive market we were experiencing.
I mean, it's a great time for sellers, obviously, but really, when it comes to the buyers out there and the competition, I mean, it can be frustrating for them right now. Are a lot of them opting for possibly new builds? And is that something you can help with?
A lot of people are opting for new builds, although we're seeing new builders raise the price after they've been committed into a contract. So that's a bit frustrating. I most recently built a home on a small piece of land in Inglewood at 4810 South Sherman Street. We built a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, urban contemporary cottage that had a 500 square foot rooftop deck and just spectacular views. So yes, I can help people with a new home purchase or with building a home from scratch on a piece of dirt. I believe in the next, the FHA and the FHFA are now looking at how they can increase the affordability for homes and the affordability for renters. We're going to see a whole bunch of accessory dwelling units built over the next 5 years. We're expecting to see about 1 million built throughout the country in the next 5 years, which is great for the homeowner because it offsets their mortgage. It can be used as an Airbnb or a long-term rental. And the other great thing is that gives nice, affordable housing to some people. My carriage house is about 300 square feet, and I rent it out for $1,200 a month.
That is interesting. I mean, that's exciting for people. I mean, how is a realtor's role in a new build, even an accessory dwelling? How is that different than when people are just purchasing? I mean, do you kind of walk through that process with them? I mean, do you enjoy seeing something come up from scratch and kind of enjoy that journey?
I love to see something built from scratch. You see the dirt, you see the plans, and then you're able to go in and see the foundation and all the electrical work and the plumbing and get it framed up. And it's a very rewarding experience. And new home buyers often love that because they're able to pick their finishes and really dial that home into their level of taste.
That is interesting. And as clients navigate through the real estate process, be it purchasing or possibly building, I mean, you're a Colorado native. Are you able to provide resources or even referrals of those professionals they might need along the way?
Oh, yeah. I've got an extensive list of people that can help throughout the real estate process, whether you're buying or selling or building. I have lenders and I have contractors and title people. And one of the great things about working here is I'm surrounded by some of the best agents in the country, not just the city. And so I'm able to get that knowledge from people when you get I'm able to harness everyone's experience and help make it mine in order to keep the solution for my buyers or sellers as clean and as simple as possible.
So be it a first-time buyer and investor, if they have questions, you don't have the answers, you probably know somebody who can get the answers for them. I mean, you mentioned before these ADUs, I mean, they can really offset a mortgage. I imagine if a person decides to sell, that can also increase the value of that property. So when I look at it, I'm thinking these people are making income on a yearly basis, yet at cash out time, it's good also. Is that something that you think the popularity has risen when it comes to these dwellings like that?
Yeah, I think that they're becoming very popular. One, because of the income potential from it, but you can build an ADU for about $350, maybe $400 a square foot.
Okay.
In Inglewood, the average price per square foot is about $550. So if you can build for $400 and you build a 500 square foot home, that the finished square footage is worth $550, you've added $75,000 to the value of your home from building the ADU.
A win-win.
So win-win
for everybody on that. Well, I mean, while inventory is low, obviously, we have an abundance of realtors, especially here in Denver. Why is it important for consumers out there to do their due diligence in choosing a realtor, and what do you think they should look for?
It's important to choose a realtor based upon their experience, based upon their ability to negotiate, and based upon their ability to get the job done. I think there's 30,000 realtors in the Denver metro area, and it's a difficult time for people if they're not out there in front of people providing the answers and
somebody's
people
doing it day in and day out. Like you say, the market's changing from a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You guys are able to adapt, change, and convey that and communicate that to the client, which is important. I mean, you've had a background in sales for over 2 decades. Do you feel that your expertise serves your clients well when, in terms of especially negotiating? I mean, do you enjoy the victories like owner carry even? Or obviously you're providing cash-on-cash returns that are great. Do you enjoy that?
I love the cash-on-cash returns. Yeah, we were able to get some last year that were in the low 20% cash-on-cash return, which was wonderful. I was able to get a client a seller carry last year, which is great. And I guess the biggest thing in looking for an agent is you've got to find somebody who's not afraid to ask the difficult questions. I would never got a seller carry for my investor client had I not asked the question.
That's impressive. And obviously, like I say, that's a sales experience that you bring to the table. You're not afraid to ask the hard questions. As a real estate agent, really, you continue as a wealth advisor. I mean, we're just talking about real estate now. I mean, does this continue to be rewarding for you as you help maybe the first-time buyer get their dream home, or possibly an investor add to his portfolio?
Yeah, it's been a very rewarding experience. Part of the reason I like real estate better than the securities side of my business, because there's real passion about it. You can touch a home, you can feel a home, you can picture yourself living in it. You take a family to a home and their kids are running around and they're picking out their bedrooms already. It's a very exciting experience with a lot of emotion wrapped up into it. People don't typically get too emotional about investing until they've lost.
Oh yeah.
And then they get emotional. But helping people buy, sell, and build homes is much more rewarding than what I was doing for the last few years.
I think it's a great fit for you. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is this website. On the website, first of all, take a look at possibly what's on the market out there. You'll learn more about this realtor, gentleman that basically has really 20 plus years of sales experience. He now enjoys the passion of real estate, of getting you your new first home, or if you're an investor, a seasoned investor, basically adding to your portfolio. Also check out his Facebook. You can follow there and he'll keep you apprised of what's new on the market, possibly some tips and what's coming down the pike from there. And that is Colorado Native Real Estate, dedicated to providing answers to your questions in order to make the buying, selling, investing, and building of real estate an easier and more rewarding process. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.